What's up, guys? So I'm actually going to do, and I said I wasn't going to do this very often, and I haven't, to be fair, but I'm actually going to do another vaping review for you. On what, do you ask? Well, on this. That's right, it's the Super Tank by Tobeco, and I have to tell you, for the price of this thing, at about $25, this has been the most impressive tank I have ever used. Now, my previous vaping review video, I reviewed both the EVIC, this mod, and the Joytech Delta 2 tank, which in my opinion is still an awesome tank, but the quality of vape on this tank is ridiculous. The flavor is insane. The throat hit is miraculous, and the vapor production is just out of this world. So I'm gonna bring you up for a little bit of uppy closey time. I guess that's what we're calling it here in the vape world. And then I'm gonna bring you back out and talk to you not so much about the specifications and blah blah blah, but the experience. So let's go. All right, so here we are with the Super Tank, and I'm just gonna do this really quickly. So as I understand it, this is a 22 millimeter base, and it holds about 4 milliliters of juice. Currently I have, I don't know if you can see it in there, a 0.2 ohm nickel coil build. That's the secret with these temp control mods. And I'm vaping it, let's see here, at 550 degrees at 60 watts. I'm not so much sure how much the wattage actually affects these things when you're in temp control mode, because it's really about the temperature. I guess it's how quickly you get to that temperature. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I mean, it's very, very simplistic. As you can see here, it's not very much to look at. Down here we have the air holes, and there's only 2 settings. I mean, you can't really go between because you kind of run into the other air hole here, which is just a little bit tinier of an air hole. So there's that. It does click into place, and there's that. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Let's come back up and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. So some of the things that I did praise with the Delta 2 atomizer was that it was very conservative on its juice consumption. And this seems to be the same. I'm filling up only about once a day with this, and I'm vaping all day, at work, at home, in the car, everywhere. It's not sacrificing the quantity of the amount of time, I guess, that you get with your juice. And the coil has lasted, I don't know, it's been about 2 weeks now or so, and I haven't had to change the coil yet. And like I said, at 550 degrees at 60 watts, which is almost the max that this device can go to. It can go up to 600 degrees, but 60 watts is the maximum amount of wattage that it will put out. So, vaping experience, let's see. I mean, with these sub-ohm tanks, you're basically getting the same amount of, basically, not 100% the same. I mean, if you're going up against something like a TFV4, you're going to get a huge amount of cloud production. I mean, so much so that it's unusable in real life settings, I guess. And even this is pushing it a lot, but just way more vapor production itself than the Delta 2, way more throat hit. The flavor is marginally better. It's really about the same, but just a slight bit better. And I mean, for the price, coils are about the same price, you know, $2, $3 to $5 depending on where you go. For a coil, about $20 for a 4 or 5 pack depending on where you go. And I bought this from Alt Smoke, who again are not sponsoring this in any way. And I mean, man, it's hard to imagine that you can buy a vaping experience in a sub-ohm tank for this price. And as I understand it, Tobeco is known for making a lot of copies of other tanks, and this is an original, and they should have been creating originals all along. Let's do it again. gonna back it up even more so you can get a bigger scope of what this is actually doing. I mean, just crazy, just crazy. I wanted to talk more about just the experience, because if you've been looking up anything about this tank, if you've been looking up information about this tank, you already know that it holds about 4 milliliters of juice, that, you know, it runs off of these Tobeco style heads. I guess they are also interchangeable with the Atlantis coil heads. I may be thinking of another tank. I'm not sure. Don't try it, I guess, or try it, whatever you want to do. But I really wanted to talk more about the experience, because every video I watch, every review that I watch is all about just the specifications, and at the end they're like, oh, you know, would I buy it? Yes, I would, as Rip Trippers would say. Or, you know, talking more about the value of the specifications and not the experience, man. I mean, to me, as an everyday driver, this has more than sufficed. Definitely the best tank that I've ever used. As a matter of fact, just before I used this tank, I was all pumped up and I went out and bought the Cyclone. And what a disappointment that was. A $50 tank that had all kinds of crazy shit on it. You know, it had these like little rivets in the mouthpiece, so it said you wouldn't get any spit back. First time I filled that thing up, leaking everywhere, spitting. I'm basically drinking the juice at that point. And it didn't matter how much you turned up the volume, I guess, or the power, it was still just ridiculous. As a matter of fact, after about a week with this may hurt some of you to hear, I just threw the tank out. I threw the Cyclone out because it was unusable to me, and even my buddies who vape, I mean, I would just be giving them hassle if I were to give the tank away to them. You had to do a lot of sort of tricks with the Cyclone. You had to like tip it over and fire it and let some of the juice drip out. I mean, you're just wasting juice with that thing, man. But if you're looking for an extremely satisfying experience, check out this super tank, because it's unbeatable in my opinion, in its class at least. My next mod and tank are going to be the TFV4 with the Smock Tech X Cube 2. As I understand it, the TFV4 is just going to suck the shit out of the juice, which I'm fine with, because it's a completely different experience you're going for there. You're not using that as an everyday driver, I hope, because you're basically going to be spending the mortgage on juice then. But yeah, go and check out this super tank. You can order it pretty much anywhere you want to online. It's at a lot of local B&Ms, and that's all I've got to say about it. Oh, this is on a nickel coil build. Obviously, I guess I didn't have to say that because we're in temp control mode, aren't we? So let's give it one more puff, and then we'll end the video, and you can immediately go out and purchase this and try it out. I love just seeing it up there, and I'm looking up there because it looks so much more impressive on camera than it does in real life. It looks impressive in real life, don't get me wrong. It just looks a lot more impressive on the camera. So I'm gonna blow it at the camera and end the video that way.